into it in just a moment here. I'm trying out a new, it's actually not, excuse me, it's actually not a, like a tripod or anything, but it is a charging stand that my device is sitting on now. So, we'll see how the camera angle does. I mean, so far, you know, I think it's going to be okay here. So, lighters, that's my incense on that side over there. I don't think you need to see the lighter from the hardware store, right? So that's who has the free advertising, right? No, it is not sponsored. Oh, here it goes. Okay, you're gonna have to relax. Okay, the full moon is approaching, y'all. If you did not know, okay. So these animals are a little hyped up today. Although I haven't been feeling the best. I don't know if I got a little case of like a summer flu or something. But it's just kind of like that, like body ache, you know, almost like when you go, you know, to a massage, and then like the next day you almost feel sick because the toxins are moving through your body. That's how I felt like yesterday heavy, and I was like, ugh. You know, so today, you know, yesterday, and that was after like drinking soup and you know what I mean, trying to put like good stuff in my body, right? And I've been snacking on my blueberries and things like that. But anyway, I had to do that again today, and I'm, you know, slowly working. I feel like I'm after I got some rest, and I definitely took some rest. But yeah, starting to feel, but like I don't think it's that thing, because like my symptoms, you know, don't exactly match what some of those folks are doing. But anyway, hopefully that all clears sooner than later, right? Like I think everybody's had that before, and it is highly unpleasant, right? I feel like a tour guide. It's like, and everybody knows, you know. I think I am going to move this incense though up here, so it'll be out of the way of the cards. And I am going to say, oh yeah. So this thing about Utah here on the Farmer's Almanac. What's the dealio? Let's see how this goes. It says Utah is likely named after the indigenous Ute people, or Ute, which way is it? Okay, Ute means land of the sun. Okay, you can see here. Yeah, I mean, Utah is known for all the different national parks, right? And also, it is Pioneer Day there in Utah. Okay, so for you pioneers out there, little buckaroos, okay, it might be on your bucket list to explore, right? Okay. I think because of this full moon coming up here, I'm gonna have to do some Moonology today. So I'm just gonna start with that. Yeah. I mean, I can even see the moon from where I'm sitting, or I could a little bit ago. It might be cloudy right now. I'm not sure. It's like a mix of, it's like, is it clouds? Is it wildfire smoke? You know, we're like, hopefully it's not, you know, War of the Worlds, right? Orson Welles style. Like, hopefully, you know, no mass panic ensues. Okay. Anyway. I mean, you ever watch the news reports some days and you're like, wow, people are really running amok, you know? I hope they find the help that they need. Anyway. So yeah, if there's a little bit of that wonkiness around, I don't know that I'll really be able to participate in the chat today as I normally do with you guys. Okay, so just a little fair warning there. Okay. Also, let's pick this card up that I slid out. The energy is gaining momentum. Waxing moon, yes, as the moon gets fuller, right? So in the next few days, we will be seeing that full moon ablaze, right? And I mean, I was chatting with an acquaintance of mine earlier and mentioning, like, you know, you wouldn't know it, but last week we had a heat wave because I'm standing outside now with a light sweater on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the tide can change rapidly, and look at, you know, from a water standpoint with the moon, the pull of the moon, that tide comes in and out every night. Okay, you have your high tide and your low tide. So, you know, your light and your dark, you know, and that's to kind of help us understand that periods of darkness or light are not, you know, necessarily mutually exclusive, right? Okay. Take time to breathe out. Just so name. Again, there's that, one song by Bush, Breathe In, Breathe Out, right? Is it Machine Head? Okay. So you might be being, and I posted a couple of videos earlier. One was of like a Cypress Hill song, you know what I mean? And like the name of the song, you know, and it's about just kind of like cutting loose and stuff. And it's like, nowadays everybody wants to become a viral sensation, but some people are doing it because they're like exploiting others, right? They want to like catch somebody doing something to the point where they're like stalking people and gonna cause car accidents, you know? And it's like, now wait a second, are you really an innocent bystander, or are you part of the problem? Look at that, you see that? The little orb that's appearing on the I swear it's not Tinkerbell, right? Wouldn't that be fun? Right, Tink? She's like, whatever, not even. I'm sure it has to do with the candle here. Yeah, so look at that. Some scientific stuff going on. So thanks, Tink, for your drop in. Appreciate ya. Here. See, that's a lot better, right? This is also the season for fireflies, right, folks? Okay. Some people in my region call them lightning bugs, okay, instead of fireflies. I think fireflies is more of a southern thing, whereas lightning bugs is more a Midwest region, in my opinion. But having grown up in the Midwest, we called them lightning bugs. So, you know, and you would catch one, put it in a jar, put like some little, you know, grass in there for them and a stick, and, you know what I mean, you gotta poke holes in the top, right, so it doesn't die right away. But then you have your little, you know, your little friend, like, you know, glowing and giving you a signal, right? Kind of like, you know, the day to night, the 24 hours, you know what I mean? There's a reason why we're given these kind of concepts, because we can understand that things don't have to go on and on. We can change things. Things do come to an end. New things begin, right? Your hard work is paying off. New moon in Capricorn here. So Capricorn, a very hardworking sign, right, Cappies? You're like, yeah, I want this, but yes, I am willing to pay for it. And because maybe you're like, that part of luxury is worth the cash, right? Kind of fun interaction I had once. Some gentleman outside of a bar was leaning on a vehicle that happened to be mine, and he did not know it at the time. And then he was talking about how he can only ride in a luxury vehicle, and I was just like, well, you know, you can start by removing your rear end from mine. You know what I mean? It's like, I hate that when people lean up on your car and stuff, and it's like they don't even know whose vehicle it is, and it's like, who do you think you are? Oh my God. And if the only reason I didn't kind of, you know what I mean, because I think he was there that night to see a friend of mine, you know what I mean, socially, and I thought, well, I'm not gonna totally rip his ass here, but I was pretty firm about, like, because he kind of looked at me like, my lips were moving, but he wasn't hearing or understanding what I was saying. And I was like, I'm like, my vehicle, you're leaning. I'm like, I want you to get off of it. But the way he was talking, Mr. Luxury, and it's like, well, if you want luxury, that's fine. Go fucking luxury it over on your own bullshit, not mine. Like, what? Yeah. Anyway, prosperity lies ahead. And, like, he was pretty clean cut and stuff, but it was still just like that. And it's like, okay, well, you don't, obviously he didn't think that nice vehicle that he was leaning on was mine. Like, he didn't think that could have been mine. And he probably was leaning on it, so people thought it was his. And it's like, the fact that I'm calling him out on it, it's like, then that makes me a bad guy? No, sir, you just need to stay off my personal property. What about that? Look, I understand we're at a bar, but you know what? Go try out that on somebody's hog at one of these biker bars. They'll really tell you how they feel. Like, give you a nice bear hug out of it or something. Because that ain't cool, man. You know what I mean? And then you realize it's like, wow, that dude probably hasn't gotten, you know what I mean, circulation to all extremities for a while. At least not for an extended period of time. Oh my word, a new start is coming, new moon. I'm telling you what, this full moon is going to be a little wild, I feel. So I'm just saying, you guys, be careful out there because, especially I feel for y'all that have to work in the healthcare field, because I do have relatives that work in that industry, and I have heard some stories, and they have said many times, not just once, not just twice, many times, they said that is true what they say, about some of these places getting a little wild around the full moon. It is true. It is true. So, I mean, don't go jumping into harm's way. I read, like, at least 2 reports in the last week of people, like, wandering around in traffic or laying in traffic. And, like, these are traffic zones where people, I mean, this is in town, but people are going 50, 60 miles an hour. You get hit, you're going to get hurt bad. Like, that ain't, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, a personal issue reaches resolution full moon in Cancer. Yeah, so, Cancer season's wrapping up, right, crabs? Right? Okay, so, and now, kind of out of that almost protective cocoon, right? You'll be moving into Leo season, okay, which, probably about coinciding with the full moon, to be honest, which, Leos, you're like, thank you, they're all like, yes, collectively we orchestrated this, we did. And even the Leos that just have Leo in their chart, they're like, yeah, we were totally manifesting that, so I'm just saying, you might hear some stories out of folks and you're just like, oh, okay. It's like when you see those, like, those Reader's Digest things, and it's about, like, some little kid that talks like he's an old man or something, and you're like, what is going on? But, they say that, younger people, people that are older, or, people that are having health issues, as well as the spiritually inclined, right, can have these experiences. Okay, because it's like, why are they talking like that? Who told them that? But that's the spirit team. Okay, you know what I mean? So you got to take it for what it is and think, like, well, okay, and is it wise? Is it helpful? And it's like, maybe you just need to let it go with that. Right? Yeah, look, surrender to the divine. It's like, yeah, this is the thing where it's like God steps in and it's like, this was part of the plan. Okay, so don't be acting surprised now. It's time to release negativity, it says here. Okay, so yeah, so maybe you need to giggle, maybe giving your chakras a workout, which I was, even though I was under the weather, I was outside stretching and things of that nature, getting some fresh air, hoping that that was going to help me. Okay, so let's go ahead and get, alright, timer secure. Anyway. Summer season so far. Okay. Breeze coming through. It's like feels pretty good to me. Hey, this might not be your read. Right, collective, and you could be like, look, I don't work around that stuff. I don't. Okay. Maybe it's not your reading. That's fine. That's fine. But sometimes these things happen in interactions where it's like you don't necessarily know the person personally, but it's just like what they said sticks with you, and then you're like, well, that's that's your guide saying, hey, that's something to keep in mind there. Okay. Look at that. Gemini Lovers card, first one out of the bat. So, and that's with this energy gain of momentum. So maybe collective, you're in a newer relationship, or your relationship maybe was stagnant at one time and now it's starting to move in what we call the right direction. Okay. Five of Pentacles. So, collective, you could have been in a season of lack, or maybe, business hasn't been as good, things of that nature, but this is saying take time to breathe out. So, I think this is kind of like counting your blessings, knowing you have enough to cover this and that, and kind of just like, you might have to ask yourself the hard questions. It's like, is it about success, or is it about, keeping up appearances with so and so? I mean, there's that famous British show called Keeping Up Appearances. And the woman's name is Hyacinth, and her sisters are what? Rose and Daisy. Okay. Anyway, yeah, very entertaining show, right? The bouquets. And yes, yes, yes. Richard is her husband, yes, and he's always driving the car in the series. They do a lot of scenes where they're in the car, and his expressions on his face just say it all. It is just like, so collective, you might be encouraged to, don't completely hold back, even like, Richard in that TV show, he expresses himself through facial expressions and things of that nature. Okay, Three of Cups. Okay. So you may be celebrating here, especially with this. It says your hard work is paying off, and you have the Three of Cups. So this is definitely more of like a party, a celebration, enjoying the moment, enjoying the day to day, right? And saying, especially if you were ever in this Five of Pentacles before, or didn't see how you were going to see your way out of it, then you didn't know if you were going to have that Three of Cups moment. But here it's saying you are, because you've been working and now that's paying off. Okay, so this is a reading for the for the Capricorns out there. I feel like the Capricorns get kind of screwed over on the astrological wheel of readings, but maybe it is because, being in the Pentacles, being so focused on work, it's like, well, they must be good, right? And it's kind of like one of those things like no news is good news. So, but here you're saying, you want to celebrate the news of being able to achieve what you have, okay? Page of Pentacles, prosperity lies ahead. So you might be, feel like you're starting small, starting over. Again, you're like, is this Five of Pentacles going to be enough? But it's like, yes. Okay, Eight of Cups, a new start is coming. Okay, so yeah. So you might have isolated yourself a little bit emotionally, collective. Ooh, wow, El Diablo on the bottom. Okay, so Cappies, yeah. It's time to release negativity here. So, and that's Scorpio, which is also Pentacles. So this might be something about negativity around money. Okay. Alright, let's keep going here. Seven of Wands, surrender to the divine. So, you can't always be on the defense, right? Somebody, in order to win games, you have to go out there and score points, right? So that surrendering to the divine, that's when they're going to push you into that offensive mode, right? Like it's not always just about defending the goal. Okay, you have to have your forwards out there running around, kicking too. You know what I mean? All right. Judgment card. Personal issue, reaching resolution. So collective, I feel like whatever this is, yeah, justice card. Wow, it's going to be like very favorable. So if you've been having anxiety about a court situation or something of that nature, it's definitely time to release negativity when it comes to that. Okay. So because the judgment is going to be in your favor, and it's literally going to feel like the wind is at your back. Okay. I think they started the Tour de France last week. So Le Tour, right, is still going on. It's like a month-long race, right? Like World Cup just ended, and then it was like that day, Tour de France starts. And, do they want the wind going in their face, or they want it at their back? You know what I mean? Like, not only wind at their back is going to improve their time, but it's also going to make it easier on their legs. It's going to make it easier on their teammates. Anyway, cause less accidents. Who knows? Who knows? Possibilities are endless, right? Your imagination is your guide. Okay, so that might be part of what you need to release negativity about as well. And it's like that scorpionic energy where it's like, look, if they don't like it, they don't like it. Just, I don't like her YouTube channel. Okay, go watch something else. Nobody's is somebody paying you to be here? Like, because I'm not seeing any money from it, so you know what I mean? What happens there is between me and the number of views on YouTube. And I mean, yes, I do have a separate donation link, but that's with PayPal. And I never require you guys to do any subscription here on YouTube because it's a free platform. I don't even have enough subscribers to do that yet. I don't think. Anyway, so that being said, right? As this full moon comes in, you might be releasing expectations, because it's like, yeah, some of us, streamers get on here and it's like, look, this is a free live broadcast. If you don't like this entertainment value, go watch your television, go listen to a podcast. I don't know, download one of them. There's Kindle books out there that are free. All you have to do is sign up for an account. Like, you know, it's like, why do people gotta complain so much about what everybody else is doing? It's like, I thought the world was our oyster. What happened to that? Okay, maybe you need to go out to my community tab and look at some of that music I post and play some of them songs and shake a tail feather. You know what I'm saying? It's like that one, I reposted that one video. I think it got removed though, but it was these women, they were like, choose your heart. Like, I get it. We want life to be better for ourselves and things of that nature, but, to say that you're never going to have challenges, that you're never going to have to use your brain, it's like, well, I don't know what to tell you about that. That, if you don't want to use your brain, if you don't want to try, then I'm not going to guarantee you results. You think you can go into an exercise class and just sit there and never do anything? Right? Sure, you can take notes, I'm sure. But are you going to actually do anything with that? You know what I mean? It's like, or you can follow along and try. And then maybe you might get some results. Hello? Right? I mean, it's about consistency, right? Me, I don't go to the gym, do like regular gym stuff because I have a household and yard work. I mean, like garden. Like there's things that I stay active and with cleaning and taking care of the dogs and stuff. It's like I feel like I'm pretty active with that. Now I could probably add some weights. This is the thing. It's like, okay, have a little self reflection, have a little pause. Could I probably add some weight training? Sure. Can I improve my diet? But you know what I did today? Okay, cut up half my watermelon, and it happened to be seedless, and I'm like, all right, this is going to be the perfect one to put through the juicer. And I did. The other half I put through the juicer. And man, is it good. And I got a big quart jar, and then at least 2 pints left in the refrigerator. So I'll have fresh juice for, through the weekend, and then come Monday, right? And I can start my Monday all feeling, reinvigorated. You know what I mean? Feeding the body, right? And it's like, well, it's a nice night out. I bet there's a lot of people out tonight. I'd be taking advantage of it if I was in the mood to do all that. You know what I mean? But it's like you can do that sometimes to your own detriment. You don't, so, sometimes we criticize ourselves collective in weird ways. All right? And it's like, well, you can only do so much. You have to understand you're a human being with your own, shortcomings, right? So, we do what we can, right? Okay. And then you got to count on, the universe and God and natural order of things and science and everything else like that for the rest. Okay? Because the thing is, logic can get tripped up very easily when a lie becomes the truth, when a lie gets inserted and is forced to, anyway. So think about how you're taking care of yourself moving forward. All right, where it started out with the lovers, like, are you loving on yourself? Let that gain momentum. You know what I mean? Instead of, oh, well, I don't know if I have time to go to the gym because I gotta, pick them up and then I gotta run here and blah, blah, well. Whether you're going to the gym, right, or you're doing it at home, right, you need to carve out that time. Oh, it's an expense. Well, what's your partner doing? You know, do they have like some kind of extended family plan where you can just drop in? You know what I mean? Can they do that instead? Right? So this justice here, this Libra, I mean, this is a, you know, this is a balancing of the scale, but you see this fire? It's like, no, you don't get to sit around and think about it. It's just gonna happen, right? One way or another. You know, what kind of like I said the other day, it's like, okay, you can take the teacher's advice and try it this way, or, you know, learn the hard way, right? How many of us have learned the hard way? What'd they call it? The school of hard knocks. By the way, this is enjoy. Oh my heavens, he's my hype man. Let me tell you, that sticker here. I was gonna say throw some good vibes up to one of his former band members is having surgery currently, I believe, sometime soon. So, yeah, hopefully that goes well. You know what I mean? It's like sometimes there's like real life stuff that comes up, right? And people be worried about all this, that, and the other, and then it's like, well, now that we're really dealing with it, it's like, maybe, you know, yeah, you know, letting that judgment wash over you, letting that justice come through, you know, surrendering to the divine and saying, well, maybe chilling out, and, you know, maybe we're going to sit on our back deck, or we're going to open up the windows and just feel that quiet and that breeze come through and not worry about it. Because there's always somebody who wants you to be concerned, right, and treat everything as if it was some emergency. But it's like, well, wait a second, what if there's a real emergency? So anyway, all right. Let's see what else we got over here. Here we go. I can hear them crickets outside. You guys, that video a few days ago, because the Farmer's Almanac had this, it was about you count the number of chirps per either 14 or 25 seconds, okay, the difference between being Fahrenheit and Celsius, and then there's other things that you have to add into the equation. But from a formulaic perspective, but yeah, so it's just funny. I'm hearing them now, and it's like, okay, that's what we're just talking about. So I'll have to do that after this reading. I gotta go out there and count them cricket chirps. According to, since I live in a region that goes by Fahrenheit, dun, 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 which I don't know. I'm gonna guess it's around like 70 degrees out. I'm not sure. St. Bridget, passion, growth, and fire. Again, fire being so Gemini, but it's like how the candle's burning and it's burning because it has air. If I was to cover it and smother it and suffocate it, right, it wouldn't burn. What's that song of hers? Just won't burn. Okay, Archangel Michael. Yes, I hear you. You're a happy guy, aren't you? Yeah. He said, yeah, because I'm on top of the bed and nobody else is. It's all mine. Yeah. I know how you are. A Thor here, number 33. Celebration, rejuvenation, and gratitude. Where was that Three of Cups at? Yeah. Celebrate good times. Come on. Again, Archangel Michael on the bottom of the deck. He's like, I'm just checking in for y'all. It's kind of like that. I'm just making sure everything's alright. You know, that kind of thing. Goddess Isis. Number 32, resurrection, magic, fertility. Okay. So, collective, some of you could be kind of experiencing pregnancy or experiencing maybe life after children type thing, where, you know, you start feeling like yourself again. You start feeling like a woman again, not just a mommy or, you know, a vessel for life. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of a heavy burden to bear. You know, that's why they say bear down, right? Like, it's getting weird. Yeah, okay. Like, oh, hey, you're gonna be responsible for human life, right? You know, games, prizes, desire to play the lottery, smoke more cigarettes, and drink lots of wine, right? I'm sorry if I hit a nerve with any of the moms out there. Anyway, just saying. Archangel Raquel, number 8 here, okay. Relationship, healing, and calm harmony. So, yeah, collective, part of this judgment may be that you get a partner that is kind of like goes with the flow, somebody that doesn't like really be bickering with you, you know, things of that nature. And you're like, yes, finally. Okay, remember that movie As Good as It Gets, where she's outside in the hallway, Helen Hunt, right? And she's yelling and she's like, all I want is a normal boyfriend. And her mother's like, that doesn't exist, dear. And it's like, okay, it doesn't exist, but alright. Like, there's, you know, there's certain lines and there's certain boundaries, there's certain, I mean, you know, it's like, what kind of lifestyle are you desiring? You know, if this is where you're having to go pick up so and so or be paying bail money, you're doing all this weird stuff, and it's like, is this really, you know, is this like a one-time thing, or is this a lifestyle choice for this person, you know, or it's just like, and you're just the latest plug for them, right? And you're just like, you know, it's like, are you there because what, you know, that, what was that movie, Barbershop, when they were stealing the ATMs, right? And it's like, what, the latest ATM got moved, and so they found you instead. You know what I mean? It's like, maybe this isn't such a good idea anymore, right? Yeah, Justice card, right? So, Archangel Raziel, number 12, yeah, okay, mysteries, protected knowledge, and secrets. Okay, so this releasing negativity, you could be doing this because, right? You're like, look, what's the Alabama Shake song? You know, and she's saying, I don't want to fight anymore. Okay? I mean, there's a lot, actually, quite a few songs that have that kind of lyric, phrasing or sentiment. Okay, there's another song, he's like, I don't want to fight about it anymore. Yesterday is just a memory, and we close the door. La da 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 da. Didn't know what to do when you called me baby. Right? Okay. How does that go? Is it, let's save tonight? Say you're gonna stay forever. Oh, yeah, damn Yankees. Alright, can you take me higher? I like that song. Alright, that's been a while since I've thought about that one. Anyway. Yeah, so it's kind of like you're releasing the negativity and getting back into the song, getting back into the joy, getting back into the, like, okay, yeah, maybe we're running low on this month, and maybe we can do without that till next month or whatever, and we'll just try and watch it for next time. But nobody's gonna sit there and throw in the towel and light it on fire because one little thing went wrong. It's like, what was that serial killer movie, Copycat, with Sigourney Weaver, and like the guy and she let her shoe down so it would mess up his little staging he was doing, because she knew that's what was getting him off, the fact that he could imitate somebody. And she thought, fuck this guy. Right? And she was agoraphobic. Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah. That was a good movie. I mean, I don't know if I want to sit there and watch it now, because I've seen it. And they used to show it on TV all the time. But, that was one of those, it was like, okay. Sometimes some people, it's like, once you see what makes them tick, you realize it's like they're not very empathetic people. And you are better off doing your thing away from those people. Even though it might look all shiny, even though it might look all glossy. For some people, they're checking a box. They are checking a box and not much else. And I'm not saying that it's like mean-spirited or anything necessarily, but sometimes it might be, not as well thought out. Okay? That's all I'm saying. But, like Brow Gal says, live and learn. Okay? I mean, that's a pretty good saying for her, too, considering some of the brows that are out there. I mean, we've all seen them on the internet. Back in the day, one of my internet guilty pleasures was looking at before and after plastic surgery. Because we used to see magazines, right? And you would see people in the magazines, but then you would see them in the movie, and it's like, wait a second. In the movie, they look a little bit different than in the magazine. Even, so, even with Photoshop and stuff, people couldn't necessarily fully get away with it. But now it's like everybody's, using the online media. But same thing. People be like, oh, so-and-so posted this picture to their Instagram, but it looks nothing like this. And it's like, who are you trying to fool, ladies? It's like, is somebody paying you to do this? Because it's like, what is going on? Y'all know the one I'm talking about too. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say who it is, but you all know exactly who I'm talking about. Especially ones that follow any entertainment news whatsoever or have an Instagram account, you qualify to be in the running. Everybody else, I do not expect you to know anything about that, and for good reason, because it's just silly, right? And it's like, but at the same time, it's like, well, maybe that's some good silliness to have. I don't know. I try not to judge it, all right? At the end of the day. Same as, oh, that tarot reader didn't say line. Like, so? Go find a different one. Or better yet, I don't know, go pay for a reading somewhere. You cheap bastard, It's like, come on now. And don't be harassing folks and stuff. It's like, come on. So, Yeah, release of that negativity here with the Justice card. It is within your right to do so. Okay? So, collective, if people want to say you're mysterious, you're withholding secrets, blah blah, and you're just like, well, you know, it says here protected knowledge, but it's kind of like one of those things like, okay, well, you asked, I answered, you didn't like the answer, I'm sorry your butt hurt. You know? It's like we tried. It's like, I guess, don't ask next time. Or go pay somebody to lie to you. Was that Johnny Lang song? Lie to me? Lie to me. Tell me everything is alright. Okay? Tell me that you're staying the night. Oh, they wanted. Well, how are they acting? Well, tell me that you never leave, right? Mm-hmm. All right. Now, let's see. What are we at on the time? Let's see here. I feel like I can pull maybe a couple more for you guys before jetting out. I'm gonna do some of the romance angels. Okay. So kind of keep this good vibe spirit going, okay, on this kicking off the weekend Friday. Although yesterday I was feeling kind of the weekend vibes. I was very busy yesterday. That might be part of why I was feeling so wiped out today, because even though my body hurt, I was still very busy yesterday. I was just in that mood of getting stuff done, you know what I mean? Stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. Okay. So you could have red hair, you could have short dark hair, your person could have blonde hair, your person could have an interesting hair color, or like a blessing mark, okay, where there's actually like a name for that, okay. Finances and career, financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles was out earlier. So this could be something too where, especially if you're trying to start a family and things of that nature, you're like, how are we going to make this work? This is getting expensive, la 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 la, right? Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. Okay? So, collective, if you have not already, okay, say, maybe taken a step back, from, say, current things that you're like, is it going anywhere, right? If you've never ever taken a step back, just try it and see what happens. Sometimes you find that you were the one carrying the relationship, the whole thing. And you're like, oh, well, I guess I'm good on that. And then it's like, wow. Okay, and then your body, and then it's like your body releases that feeling of that strain, and then you get to heal that all up. It's like it's like when you get released from the matrix, right? Like he felt sick afterwards. Okay, because it's like he was artificially being held up, right, and thinking that he needed this and that he needed that, and it's like, well, there were other plans for Neo. true love. This is the romance of a lifetime. So for somebody collective, this could be like your Trinity Neo kind of thing happening here. Okay. Again, the blonde hair could be significant, male or female. Trust, this situation is calling for you to have faith. Okay, so if you want the justice, it's yours, but like, you know, you're gonna have to answer the door. You might have to go to the courthouse. You're gonna have to sign the papers. You know what I mean? It's not gonna happen in a vacuum bubble, right? Where you don't have to interact with anybody. You know, yeah, maybe you'll have to see the judge. Maybe you'll have to, you know, so that's this releasing negativity where just realize the faster you go do that, the faster it'll be over with. Okay, so it's getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So collective, as you get into this judgment and feel more supported, surrender to the divine, things like that, then you're going to start feeling safer to be like, okay, I can reveal this about myself. Okay, I can reveal that about myself. You know what I mean? And you're not going to be like in defense mode or triggered if they say something, blah blah blah, and then it's like, oh, you know, and it's like, okay, well, guess what? In life, you're going to have people that, you know, don't say things that you like. But that being said, you know, if you're in a committed relationship, and you're living with somebody 24/7 and in each other's face 24/7, chances are they might say something that you do not agree with. Chances are. I mean, did you ever grow up with brothers, sisters, cousins, aunties, uncles? Did you ever not agree with them? Okay, and then you got to go home and get away from them. But hey, if you're living with that person, you can't get away. But does that mean you don't love them? Of course not. Okay, now we're grown. Okay? You know, that's why they encourage people to go and get hobbies. Okay, it gets you out of the house, right? Get your mind on other things. Okay. You'll be like, well, I got kids. Take up knitting. They'll have a scarf at the end of the year. Okay, whatever. Surely there's something you like doing besides watching The Bachelor. All right. I think that it's right. That full moon is coming. Anyway, yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. Please do like the video, especially if you were in the chat today. And remember, you do not have to be a subscriber in order to like the video, but you sure can be. And it's 100% free. The 100% free way to support the channel. As you know, here on YouTube, all the readings are free. You pay only with your time, or if you are on the ad-free version of YouTube, which really has nothing to do with me. But if you feel that you would like to support the channel in a different way, my donation link is listed in the description of every single video, as well as in the About Me section, okay, of this Manifest Wisely YouTube channel, providing you messages that you need. Okay, if you enjoyed this message, though, please do like the video or consider subscribing, share with a friend, you know, or, you know, just talk about maybe something that you heard. Look up, you know, some of these archangels here. Think about, you know, what you might want to, you know, take as an action plan, you know, in terms of self-care, you know, regarding these Moonology cards, okay, that I laid out earlier. Okay, so there's a lot I think you can do with today's reading. So if, you know, hey, if you can't take nothing from this, you just know everything already, then you are Oprah ready, right? I mean, what are you talking to me for? Okay? Anyway. So until next time, please do manifest wisely. Bye bye.